Mark, who are you? I just said your name, but like, who actually are you, and what do you guys actually do?
Yeah, so in terms of business, I'm the founder of Chinook Seedery. We're the only better for you sunflower seed in the market. We roast and flavor our seeds in a proprietary way. Nobody else is doing it. Leads to a much higher quality product. We use a lot less salt. We're focused on healthy ingredients. We're the only gluten-free brand out there. We're the only non-GMO verified brand out there. Really just trying to elevate the in-shell sunflower seed category to a more premium level. Um, I always loved sunflower seeds. I'll give you the short version of the story about how this thing came to fruition. But I always loved seeds, ate them all day, almost every day growing up. Throughout college, one day I went into Whole Foods and tried to find the better for you version of sunflower seeds. And to my surprise, they did not have it. And this is a food product or a snack food that can be bought in essentially every convenience store, every grocery store throughout the country and even the world. And at the time, Whole Foods was the fastest growing grocery retailer in the world. And I thought, you know, nobody is doing a better for you version of this very popular product. If we could be the first, there's certainly an opportunity. So started playing around in my kitchen with different roasting techniques, seasoning techniques, and finally landed on a version that I was confident in, shared it with my friends and family. They all loved it. They said, you got to go for it. And, year and a half, 2 years later, we sold our first bag of seeds in a retail store.
That's awesome. What was the first retail store?
It was just a local gas station here in Austin, Texas.
Okay, got it. So obviously, when we first like I reached out to you 2 years before we actually even started working together. So I've been following the brand for quite some time now. I've seen you guys like progress. I wasn't there at the start, but like 2 years of just watching what you guys do, it's been a journey. So when we launched, obviously we do email and SMS marketing. We got you guys a 74% increase that resulted in $34,108 in 30 days just on your flows. So
Mhm.
before we even like reached out to you, like what were you guys struggling with before like, signing with us? And what was your business like before?
Quite frankly, our biggest struggle was just bandwidth. We've got a fairly lean team, and our most of our focus is on retail growth and e-com growth. Certainly, you guys helped us on the online side, but we didn't have anybody with the expertise or, frankly, the time to really dive in and give our flows the attention that you guys have. We didn't have the knowledge to go in depth and really look at the metrics and tailor things to our customers, to our website. And so we had set up these flows before you hopped on board, maybe 18, almost 24 months prior, and just kind of set it and forget it. And they performed well initially. We were happy with it. We diverted our attention elsewhere. And then you finally convinced me, Marvin's, to take a deeper look at it. You really thought you could help us. So after many emails and your persistence, I gave you that chance, and you guys knocked it out of the park for us.
Yeah, that's awesome. Until we do. It was a grand slam, as you guys would say. So I guess moving on to the next question. It was just very interesting to see like, how the flows were initially set up because I was already in the email list. I already saw what you guys were doing, and I just immediately knew that this was something that you guys, at least the flows, could have like been a lot better. And when this whole entire case study was just around those flows, could you just let us know like why it was just on the flows and it wasn't us pushing more volume?
Quite frankly, transparently, we are experiencing a rapid period of growth, really over the last couple of years, but especially this year, especially on the retail side. So we're going into already this year, we've been launched in about 4,000 new retail locations, most of those being convenience stores, some of those being grocery chains. And we were growing online. We were on our website. We were growing on Amazon, a couple other online channels performing extremely well. And quite frankly, we pushed our production line to capacity and are working to build a brand new facility. We just ordered some custom-made equipment to do our proprietary process. We just wanted you guys to focus on the flows because it's something that could make conversions on people that were already visiting the website or already in our email list. It's not something we wanted to go and advertise, run digital ads to bring in, I guess what we do call new business, but we already had the visitors. We wanted to convert and reconvert those customers at a higher clip. which you guys have done for us. And it was just pure profit margin for us. We didn't have to spend any additional ad spend, anything like that.
Yeah. And that's such a good problem to have. Like I know that, ever since we started, like I could just see the frustration on your face of just like, okay, I have to call these people, I have to do this, I have to speak with these people. It's just we need to get this equipment ready so we can actually scale, but we can't scale because like we would just exhaust our inventory. So that's like it's a good problem to have, but it comes with like its cons. And
Yeah.
you
People say it's a good problem to have. It's been a frustrating time. It's been the best year of the company, no question about that. The demand is there. The customer has spoken. Once they try our sunflower seeds, they prefer them to other brands. That's a great feeling. But yeah, not being able to scale when the opportunity is there is frustrating. But it's growing pains that almost all businesses go through, and we're working quickly to get things in place to really step on the gas in Q1 of next year. And I think everybody involved with the brand, and probably yourself included, seeing the metrics, the sky's the limit for Chinook Seedery.
Yeah, I agree. So outside of like the revenue increase and like the growth of the company, are there any like milestones or wins that stand out to you, like other than just like the growth? Like what have you learned so far about like just business in general, like just the CPG space, consumable space? Are there any like milestones or like wins that you've experienced ever since like, this basically just the start of this year?
Yeah, a few big wins on the marketing side of things. We secured a deal with USA Baseball to become the official sunflower seed of USA Baseball. They're a great organization, great people. It aligns with our brand perfectly. Obviously, baseball, softball players eat a whole lot of sunflower seeds. So building the brand awareness through that partnership has been a home run, forgive the pun, or a grand slam, if you want to say that. And then through that partnership, we were able to secure a deal to become the official presenter of the Golden Spikes Award, which is essentially the equivalent of the Heisman Trophy Award for college baseball. And we just went out to Omaha for the College World Series. We took part in that presentation. Charlie Condon, terrific player out of Georgia, won the award. And the feedback from that has been entirely positive. It's really putting Chinook on the map on a nationwide level. So those have been two of the biggest wins, in addition to all the retail accounts we're going into this year.
Yeah, and going like into 2024, did you expect something like this? Did you expect the amount of growth, the amount of deals that you guys would sign in 2024?
We projected really aggressive growth towards the end of last year. And we thought we were being conservative, and apparently we were being far too conservative with that growth. So some of these accounts coming on board, some of the online growth caught us a little bit by surprise. But we did expect to have our biggest and best year so far.
Yeah. And going back to the email and stuff and just like the growth on the online side of things. So you mentioned the other channels, like before we even started working, you mentioned TikTok, Amazon. Let me try to rephrase this question. So it seemed like all these other channels were also just blowing up on the online side of things. Like, did you expect TikTok to blow up? Did you expect Amazon to blow up? Did you expect like your Instagram to blow
up? Instagram, possibly. Twitter, we've also had a lot of success on just in the sports conversations that we engage in. TikTok, we frankly had ignored until earlier this year. And yes, we were taken by surprise. We went from $0 in sales and steadily grew that over the course of a couple of months to it was almost 30% of our Amazon business. And that happened quickly. It's significantly more rapid growth than we had on Facebook or Instagram early on. So that was the only one that I would say caught us by surprise. There's a tremendous opportunity on TikTok. They are trying to challenge Amazon in a number of ways, and they've got the audience to do it. And they're being really aggressive with it. Trying to grow that in the US market. So quite frankly, once we've got the new production facility up and running, TikTok will be one of our focuses.
Yeah. Same thing with like campaigns and SMS. Like when we talk about, this case study just being on the flows, it's like you're still always going to have people coming to the site. At the end of the day, like I know one of the things we did was like, we were only focusing on the 1.5 ounce bags. And it's like you do so much to like try to like suppress everything, but at the end of the day, the people are still going to come into the email list. They're still going to come to the website and press that buy button. So like like we suppress like you right now you just said that you're not focused on TikTok yet. Like we're not going to be focused on campaigns yet. We're not going to be focused on SMS yet because it's just going to exhaust inventory. But like
Mhm.
the reason why we did flows is because it's like people are still going to come to Chinook Cedar and they're still going to buy it no matter what. Like there's nothing we can do about that. So I think that's just a testament to like why we only focused on flows, and that's exactly why we specialized in it in the first place. So
Mhm.
just to get to like the conclusion of like these questions, what would you say to someone considering working with us?
Oh, I mean, you guys have been incredible for us. Not only do you have the skills that we really don't, in terms of email marketing, SMS, um, you really take it off of our plate. Like I said, we have a lean team. So my communication with you is minimal. You guys run with the projects. And then, we have a call, we communicate through email or Slack, and it doesn't take a lot of our time. And I fully trust you guys. It seems like you understand the brand from a voice perspective and an aesthetic perspective. So when you guys submit the work, our revisions, our edits are minimal. And that's the beauty. That's the goal in finding some outsourced work, right?
Yeah.
Have worked with agencies in the past where it feels like I'm running the entire project, doing all the work, making thorough revisions, and that hasn't been the case with you. You're the expert. Your attention to detail is impressive, and it's not taking up a lot of my time or anybody else on the team's time.
Yeah, and to be honest, Mark, you surprised me with like those revisions because I usually it's like 5 revisions per like if we work with a client. You were when you came in and you looked at our Figma, it was just like, oh, just fix the side abandonment. It was like that one side abandonment email, and I think it was just the color, and then that was pretty much it.
Mhm.
And then we were just ready to rock after that. Um, did you expect us to only know about email SMS? Because I know that that's basically our specialty, but we're also helping with your loyalty rewards program. We just talked about another software before, like this interview even started. How have we helped you on things that pertain to not just email and SMS, but just copy, brand voice, as well as just like different apps like the loyalty rewards program like Smile.
Mhm. Yeah, well, when we engaged you guys, Marvin's, the goal, the expectation was that it would be strictly the flows, right? And maybe some SMS or email campaigns when the time was right. And then just through working with you, finishing that project, through conversation, I started throwing out some more ideas to you, and you said that you could help with that. So I said, great. If it goes anything like the first campaign or the first project that we did, let's go for it. So sure enough, we set you loose on the smile.io project, and hopefully a few others here in the future. But no, to answer your question, I didn't expect this relationship would go anything farther than just basic email marketing.
Yeah, it's awesome. We always like pretty much at the end of the day, like every single brand we work with has like WooCommerce or Shopify. So it's like we just make it a priority to just understand it. And then you just find like different like things that can be added to, grow the company further, like the loyalty rewards program that we're working on now. So last question. What's one piece of advice you have for other brand owners to get the most out of our services? Because we just talked about how, we specialize in email and SMS. What would you say to other brand owners that are considering us to get the most out of our services?
I'd say probably just prioritize goal setting. Prioritize your goals at the very beginning. Make it clear what you want from the project, what your expectations are, and put some numbers on it. And that's what we've done with you. We put specific numbers as goals, and we'll be happy if we exceed these. We'll be disappointed if we don't. And with you, we crush those numbers. We far surpass them. But that's probably the biggest thing. We with anybody that we work with, we have to set goals, and they're always number goals based on the metrics. And from a brand owner's perspective, you've got to hold the people you're working with accountable. But that was easy to do with you, Marvin's.
That's awesome. I appreciate that. So yeah, that's pretty much the end of this. Thank you so much, Mark. When it comes to just like, I know that literally we had to put the brakes on just like growth this year because like campaigns and SMS, that's when it really like takes off. We only did the flows. So when we actually launch those campaigns like strategy, when we actually launch the SMS strategy, how like just like I guess because like obviously nobody knows for sure, but like how do you think that growth would look when we actually unleash those campaigns and unleash those SMS messages?
Well, we're taking the steps to really almost 10x our production capacity. So when we're pouring fuel on the fire every avenue that we can, SMS, email campaigns, more digital marketing, and some of the avenues that we've talked about. We expect to maybe 2.5 or 3x our total online business next year in 2025. And that includes Amazon and some of the other channels. But yeah, the sky's the limit. We're just eagerly waiting this new facility to be built, this new equipment that will allow us to produce more. And I think ultimately it'll lead to an improvement in the product quality as well.
Got it. All right. Thank you so much, Mark. I will say I would say that like it's tunicseatery.com is where we basically find like the website, but like do you have like any like socials that you want to plug before we end off?
It's all at Chinook Seedery, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all the usual suspects, but the handle's the same for all of them, Chinook Seedery.
Got it. All right. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Marvin. It's a pleasure.
Take care.